Hello and welcome to Archvelder's Hacks with Archvelder and his amazing hacks. So this video was inspired by a trick I learned from watching a video by a guy called Confused in China, who discovered a strange technique to apparently fly in Stormwind. I'll link to the original video in the description below. First, go to the Mage Tower in the Mage District of Stormwind. Now you'll want to proceed up the walkway till you're approximately 5 flagstones away from the end of the walkway. That's roughly where the shade is. Now angle your mount towards the centre right window of the building I'm facing here. Now mount jump into the air. If you get it right, you should jump onto an invisible platform and be suspended in mid-air. And to some extent you can now move around suspended in space. The invisible platform rules are kind of weird. You fall off frequently and you have to work out where you can go through trial and error. But via a process of elimination, you'll figure out that there are 2 main pathways you can go to. The first is down the avenue just to the right of the building you were facing when you perform the jump. The second route is down the path you normally take from the trade district to the mage district. You can actually go right through the roof of this building. Now, why is this happening? I suspect it is something to do with the textures of buildings projecting too far. For the curious, I'd recommend checking out my video on macro exploitation, which shows a really extreme example of this happening. The relevant CVAR for those of you who are interested in such things is WMOLODDIST. Assuming this is the cause, this probably won't be the only place you can airwalk like this. It should be affecting other large buildings in classic WoW. Now, generally speaking, I don't use other people's techniques unless I can add something useful to them. So first, if you want to test the boundaries of the invisible walls, something which helps enormously is to use but not activate any target reticle ability and move it around, as the reticle won't pass through anything solid, including invisible walls. I'm using the Rogue's Distract here. Every class has some ability like this. You can see from my demonstration here that where the reticle indicates an elevation in the trajectory of the invisible wall are areas where we tend to fall off the invisible wall. Secondly, this method can be used to quickly and easily access the underground below Stormwind. Airwalk over to this building here and then walk slowly to your left. Walking will reduce the fall damage from plummeting through this building, as I didn't show you there. Now we're beneath Stormwind and in this wonderful world of floating trees and textures. Now, this isn't exactly a new discovery. A small hardcore of exploration experts have been using various genius methods to get out of Stormwind since vanilla. But it is a truly mind-blowing sight that I'm guessing 95% of players have never seen. This is just a theory, but I sometimes wonder if the floating terrain of Outlands was originally inspired by developers looking at strange and surreal sights like this. Once under Stormwind, you can very quickly just run along the completely flat terrain into the adjoining zones. If you use Help Unstuck here, you'll be teleported to the graveyard in that zone, which can be quite an efficient form of travel to zones where you don't yet have a connection with a flight master established. Make sure your Hearthstone is on cooldown if you want to try this, otherwise you'll just get ported to your Hearth location. And as you can see here, I'm ported directly to Flamecrest in the Burning Steppes. If you want to pick up the flight path while you're actually trying this, it's in the southeast corner of the zone where the exclamation marks are on the map here. Now there's one more interesting secret to discover here. When you initially fall through the building next to the Mage Tower to access the underground of Stormwind, you'll notice this square hole to your left. Now, I was assumed that this was just a hole in the world, and if you fell down here, you would disconnect. But look what happens. It actually takes you to the Mage Tower portal room. This is the portal room's real location. So I hope you have fun screwing around with this. If you like this video and you're curious about exploration, I'd consider joining the Exploration Reboot Discord, where you can learn powerful exploration techniques and methods from a helpful and supportive community. I'm not affiliated with that community, I just think it's really cool. Now, if your interests in manipulating game mechanics go beyond exploration, and you want to push the boundaries of both retail and classic Warcraft to level faster and make gold using some of the most powerful techniques available, you may wish to consider joining my Patreon, where I post content too hot for YouTube on a regular basis. Thanks for watching. This has been Archvelder.
Ha 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 ha!